Hello, today I'm going to install the Jeep Fuel Rail and Injector Cover Kit by Design Engineering for my 2004 Jeep TJ Rubicon 4.0 straight 6. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to replace the fuel injectors with these Bosch 7-hole fuel injectors. This kit came with O-rings to replace. This is for the heat soak issue that many of these Jeep straight 6 cylinder 4.0s encounter when the engine gets so hot that it vaporizes the fuel along the fuel rail before it even gets into the engine on a hot start. So since it came with new O-rings, I figured might as well replace the injectors with better ones. So we'll see how this all goes. Let's get started. All right, so the Jeep Fuel Rail and Injector Cover Kits. This is what it comes with here. You have a replacement heat shield for the intake. Goes right underneath the fuel rail. Got this that goes along the fuel rail. I believe these go around the individual injectors, and one for each injector. It's all hook and loop design, so easy to install, easy to remove. And here, like I said, here's the O-rings that it comes with, but instead I'm going to replace them with these Bosch 7-hole fuel injectors. And you get a nice little sticker from Design Engineering. And this is the current setup here. You can see the old heat shield. Feels pretty brittle. So we're going to be replacing that, as well as putting those sleeves on here and on the fuel rail. And I'm going to go ahead and replace these injectors here. There's 6 of them. And to do that, I got to take this off anyway, so might as well clean out the throttle body while I'm at it. Since we're dealing with the fuel rail, we're going to have to disconnect the fuel pump relay. This diagram shows you where it is in the fuse box here, so it's this one right here. Just got to remove this guy. Right there, and then start it up to release the pressure in the fuel rail. Note to self, don't leave the fuel pump relay sitting right here while you try to start it. Not sure if you could tell, but this thing popped off. Fell on the ground there, so just gonna put it right here for safekeeping. And now I believe we'll disconnect the battery. Next, I need to detach the air hose, the air intake pipe. As you can see here, actually the throttle body here doesn't look too bad, but probably could use a cleaning in there. looks worse further down in, so. All right, these right here are your throttle cables. You can see here when this goes, when you press the gas, it pulls this, and you know, air goes in here, mixes with fuel, combustion, your engine turns. And so we need to disconnect these. This one just pops off like that. This one forwards. And I thought there was supposed to be another one here. Apparently there isn't. Now that that's complete, I need to remove this connector here and this connector down here as well. Now I've pre-sprayed these 4 bolts around here already with PB Blaster. You'll probably want to do that. These require a 10mm socket. This guy needs to come out. Entering the great abyss. All right, here we have the throttle body of 2004 Jeep TJ Wrangler straight 6. Doesn't look too bad in there, actually. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit of gunk on the back side. We'll go ahead and clean it up. See there, it's already cleaner. Okay, I'm going to proceed by taking this bracket for the throttle cables off. This can come off. Okay, what comes next is gotta disconnect this fuel line here. And to do that, this tool comes in really handy, an angled disconnect tool set. I'm pretty sure this is the tool. I used this one before on a XJ I used to own with the 4-liter, and it worked really well. So this goes on here and shoves that back. So this comes off somehow. Here's the fuel line tool mentioned earlier. Let's see if that's... go in there. All right, ran into a little snag here. Having the toughest time removing these electrical connectors. They don't just want to pinch off like you would think, like the other connectors do. From researching a little bit, it looks like this needs to pop off, but I'm afraid to break that off there. Well, after finally finding a video, it was on how to change the fuel injectors on an 05 and 06 TJ, and realizing you have to pull back on the red tab there And then you wiggle by squeezing the black connector. I was finally able to get one of these off. Man, these things were a pain even after I got the tabs off. Not every 4.0 has the same setup. I guess the older ones, older than 04, it's a little bit different. Let's see if we can get this one to come off. The hardest part's getting these red locking tabs off. They just do not want to come off. And it's so tricky. You don't want to break one of these. There, it finally comes up. And see, even once that's done, you gotta pinch this right here and wiggle it. And even then it doesn't want to come off. I'm gonna have to get two hands on this and squeeze, hold on to the injector while I get that off. Now I'm going to undo these 4 bolts here holding the fuel rail to the intake. Now I think it's safe to say we can pull the fuel rail. Is there anything else? Hold that in. Gently wiggle until it comes out. Nothing like a little gasoline. A lot of fuel still in this rail. And now we should be able to remove this. Ugh. Okay. I think I broke that one. The other two are intact. Now, I can remove this thing. This is at better ways. Gosh. Get that thing. These injector ports here can be very full of grime and dirt, so it's a good idea to clean them. Looks like a Q-tip works pretty well to get in here and get that grime out. Okay, the Q-tips weren't doing, they were getting it clean, but some of that grime is on there pretty well, so I'm going to try to put some air intake cleaner on here and see if it'll dissolve some of that more. All this grime and crud is what was holding that in there so well. Okay, since we're over here, I'm going to see how this heat shield fits here. replacement heat shield. Looks like that's how it goes. Looks like a bolt broke here. The old fuel, the throttle cable bracket. Looks like they broke the old one and used a different one. Okay, back here with the fuel rail, need to remove these metal clips. They say a flat screwdriver works well. We'll see. Gosh, this one's almost completely rusted. There you have it. All right, I have the new fuel injectors here. You can see the difference between the old and the new. Obviously the color's different, but new O-rings and 7 holes versus 1. Hoping that works. I got these off eBay. It says they were new Bosch 7-hole. I'm not sure if that's, they look like they're refurbished to me. I see a little bit of dirt inside there, but the reviews were really good, so I figured why not? 36 bucks. Hopefully these work. You'll see it here. But yeah, get ready to put these in. It's everything I'm reading says I need to put some lubricant on these O-rings when putting them back in here and in the engine. They say to use silicone grease or petroleum jelly, which I have neither. So since it said silicone grease, hoping maybe dab a little bit of this WD-40 silicone lubricant. Might dab it on there with some Q-tips. See how that goes. It's just enough to make it easier to slide in. All right. Let's see. Come on. Might take something a little more than that. That's kind of in there. It's pretty tight. Beginning to wonder. Yeah, they're the same size. All right, got the first one on with the clip. So it does fit. It's just pretty tight in there. I did notice too that the this part is wider on the new ones. Hopefully the part that fits in there will be able to accommodate this wide part here, but we'll see. I'm amazed at how tight some of these are. Well, after reviewing the video, I think I put these clips here on backwards. See, the plug's going to come down like that, and so it might need a little space there, so I think the clips need to go on the other way. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to reverse these. All right, reverse the clips. Now I'm ready to put this heat shielding on the fuel rail. And there's a couple extra holes here. I think it's for crap. Probably should have done this before putting the fuel injectors on. Probably would have worked with these since they, yeah. Because these are skinnier. These ones are fatter. Oh, wait. It just might work. I'm probably going to have to put a slit, just like a guy in another video did. I believe this hole here is for one of the bolts that holds the throttle cable brackets. Still doesn't address these. There are slits for that. Oh my goodness, I'm totally butchering this for no reason. It'd be nice if they included some detailed instructions, but I didn't see any in there. See, there is a slit. Although, they didn't account for this guy, which isn't the same on every fuel rail. Ready to go back in. Just got to lube up these tips, and I think we're going to put it back in. Not sure if this is supposed to click, or am I just supposed to fasten it tight? Okay. Still got to put those injector heat shields on. I think it's safe to do that now. There's the Jeep fuel rail cover kits. Wasn't too bad. I would say the hardest part was getting the fuel rail off. But it looks really good. It actually looks very, very neat and clean. Everything seems protected from the heat. These 4.0s are notorious for getting hot. But hopefully this will help keep the fuel from vaporizing and prevent the heat soak issue that I was having after a hot start. After driving on a fairly warm day, getting it warmed up, driving on the highway, if you were to shut it down, it would, and then restart it, it would idle rough for a few minutes, and then it would eventually smooth out. But just don't really want to have to deal with that. It can't be good for the engine. It's just not running efficiently. So also these fuel injectors should help enhance maybe power and fuel economy a little bit. Hopefully. We'll see. Now I'm just going to do the reverse process. Get this intake back on here, and we'll fire it up. See how it does. Okay, got the old throttle body. Okay. Just need to put the fuel pump fuse back on and reconnect the battery. Hopefully it didn't damage it when it came off. Actually, it's this one. All right, now it's time to see if I did everything right. And fire it up. And that would be a big no. Fuel is coming out of somewhere. Well, that should teach me to put it all back together before testing the fuel rail. Man, oh man, that's a lot of fuel. So here we are back at the workbench. I pulled out injector number 6 and the O-ring looked a little damaged. I think it's from having to jam it in there so hard, not using oil or Vaseline, using this WD silicone probably wasn't the best thing. Gonna try using some motor oil. I'm gonna use the replacement O-rings that the fuel rail injector cover kit came with. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, this time I'm going to use the advice of my fellow trusted mechanic, aka my brother, Brad Kessinger. He happens to be a mechanic in the U.S. Air Force, serving our great country right now. And he says just to use some motor oil. Hopefully this will get this to slide on there better and not ruin the O-ring. So here goes. Remember, this was quite hard to get on. Oh, much easier. But that did it. Feels a lot better. All right, one down, several to go. Yep, there's another one. Looking a little bent there. It's a good thing this injector cover kit from Design Engineering came with a extra set of O-rings. Oh, look at injector 1. That's really messed up there. Ta-da! And lube the other sides. I got a snap this time. Snap in place. All right, batteries connected. Fuel pump relay fuse is back installed. I'm just gonna cycle the pump here. So far I don't see any leaks. I was already seeing leaks last time at this point. So if those O-rings don't seal correctly, man, you're having some fuel flying. So let me button this back up and we'll start her for real. All right, everything's all back together again. So we're gonna see if the fuel rail leaks this time. I'm gonna start it up. Oh, you think we're going for a ride?
Yeah. We are going for a ride.
Okay, so when you do this, make sure you use proper lubricant on the O-rings. Don't make the same mistake I did and have to redo the whole thing. And yeah, it's still a good idea. If you're going to replace the O-rings anyway, might as well put some better fuel injectors. I haven't noticed too much yet, just driven it around the block. We'll have to wait and see after a hot start down the road and see if there's a difference, see if the heat soak's gone, see if the MPGs improve. I'll probably provide an update at a later time, but for now, stay tuned to our channel, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.